It is. Mike Hughes here. I'm at Whip Fins. You might have known them under a different name of Gel Fins, but now it's they're under whipfins.com. And it's a similar product, but the new name is to help tell people why they're so effective, right, John?
It's based on the same technology, which I didn't really understand when I was doing it years ago. That what I was doing was whipping my legs, just like when you walk. And so instead of doing a scuba kick like this, all right, where you're doing that long extension and keeping your toes pointed,
keeping your knees straight.
Well, you keep your knees straight and your toes pointed, which is like my knee is my elbow in this case. But what's different with this is we want you to do a whipping motion. And it turns out that when you do that whipping motion, you send a whip wave down your arm, in this case, but your leg. And when you do that, here's a video of me. I'm swimming with 40 pounds on right there, okay? And I can swim with 40 pounds on, and with pushing a camera that has a weight to it and a drag. I'm allowed to do that because that weight in there is helping me to, now as I get to this shallower portion and I can't kick as deep, and it started falling a little bit, but basically what happens is you end up using your torso to whip your legs, and by whipping your legs, we're actually made to do this. We're gonna find
like baseball players and
football player uses his hip,
right?
Turns the hip to whip the arm.
And just to show it even more clearly, we've got a whip right around the fin.
Right.
And so if you try it normally, you'll be about as fast as with regular fins. But once you put the whip motion into it,
and when you relax your foot, it turns out that if I took a whip and I made it stiff at the end of it, it wouldn't whip. It wouldn't make a crack. Let me grab one of these whips here. I'll grab this one off there, okay? When you whip a whip...
I think we got to tie it on some...
When you whip a whip, okay, it needs to have a smaller tip, because that energy wave speeds up as the mass decreases. All of our limbs have smaller ends because of that. We can speed up the ends. And then when you whip it,
I don't know if I can get all that in there, but that's okay.
When you whip it with your body also,
you're using the whole body when you turn and whip.
Exactly. You use your whole body. This one is
maybe a little further away.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to whip any passerbyers either.
Yeah.
But anyway, with the same turns of your body, and when you're using the fins, it helps propel you even faster.
This young lady here, okay, learned how to do this yesterday. It took you what? How many minutes? 5 minutes, and she got the hang of it because you just have to relax. And after she got the hang of it, I said, and it's really more pulling back, because when you walk, you pull back with the leg and then just kick this leg forward. The one going forward only has to carry the weight of the leg.
Right.
The one going back has to carry the weight of the body. So pulling back is a much stronger force. And that's when you do the same thing in the water. I'm actually pulling much harder back. Here she is. She's in the video now. I had her put on 32 pounds of weight.
Okay, which is excessive.
At first, she had trouble because she wasn't rotating her hip. You notice as soon as she stops kicking, she goes down like a rock. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, it was true.
So what you really need to do when you're doing this is rotating your hips, which seems strange at first because you normally in scuba keep them static. This is a dead weight that you work off of in scuba. I'm trying to change the rules and make it so that you use this weight to swing and to whip your limbs. And when you do that, it's less energy and you get more power. On on Saturday, I'm going to swim with 50 pounds on. I'm going to swim around the pool as if I have nothing on. And the reason being that I can do that is these fins use that 50 pounds as
part of the motion and energy.
Right. So when I'm swimming with a tank on, I use that tank. I use the weight of the tank and the BC. I use that as a leverage to torque off of and to get energy waves down. So I feel just as free using swimming with a tank as I do when I'm swimming freestyle in the water.
Okay, and then that goes back to and the end being narrow and slender.
Well,
it's just like
it
the
turns
tunas
out,
and dolphins.
mathematically, this is similar to that whip. Okay.
Right, but it's also similar to all the pelagic animals that are.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Every ocean-going predator, every single one of them has this kind of fin. And that's why you need to just relax your foot and let that shape
And whip it good.
and whip it, you know. just
That
whip
would be
it-
the
whip-
Devo expression.
Yeah, whip it as good as you can. But you'll find that your body's made to whip, your limbs are made to whip, and when you do whip them, you have more power with a lot less energy, a lot more air, because you're using less of it.
Cool. Well, that I think explains it to a T.
Okay.
So look for the whip fins, and once again, we have the whipfins.com here.
Right.
You can see it, and you can go there and look for more information on
And
the product.
this one photo here, which is a little bit curious, shows the whip wave coming down through the whip itself. And when I began to realize that, how did the whip wave get into the whip? And it had to come through my arm. And then as I figured out that it came through my arm, it means it probably comes through my legs if I whip my legs. And so finally I realized that what we need to do is use a whip fin that the animals use successfully for a few 100 million years.
Instead of trying to reinvent the whip.
Right. Well, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, this is almost better than a wheel because you're frictionless almost. Okay. And when you do that, now, how do you like when you use them?
I'm losing my battery pack, so
All right.
I'm going to have to
Sign
go
off.
off. But I do like them, so I'll talk to you later, and
Yes,
I
you
hope
will.
to see you soon. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.